G'day there guys, wonders what dinosaurs taste like on a daily basis here. It's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of you guessed it, Am I the A-hole? Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, smack that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget, YouTube is unsubscribing people, so check down below if you're still subscribed, smack it if you are, please do. I mean, don't unsubscribe, oh my god, please don't do that. Sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie as always, and enjoy the show. Thank you. Posted by user Throwaway862610. Titled, Am I the a-hole for being frustrated that my girlfriend doesn't work hard at her job and gets paid nearly twice as much as I do? So my girlfriend and I both work in tech. She's a safety validator for software, working at a consulting firm, and I'm doing network infrastructure support. When we both worked in different offices, I didn't know much about her day-to-day life at work. I knew she made a lot more than me, $120K to my $66K, and she credits a lot of that to job hopping. She's 25 and has had 3 full-time jobs since college. I've been at one place since college. But since we've been working from home, I've seen a lot of her daily schedule, and hers versus mine are really different. She gets up at 9:15 to drag herself into the home office for her 9:30 to 10 daily meeting. After the meeting, she goes and showers and has breakfast from about 10 to 10:45, answering a few Slack messages and emails on her phone, but mostly just listening to podcasts and eating and doing her morning routine. Then she works till noon and takes a lunch break from noon till 1. Then she works from 1 to 4, often having meetings or working on her own stuff. And at 4 will spend an hour or so doing household chores and stuff, while keeping an eye on her phone to answer emails. And outside of 9 to 5, she blocks work-related messages from her phone. So basically, she actually works about 4.5 hours daily, and does her own thing for about 2 hours, just paying enough attention to reply to emails that come in. I basically work non-stop 8:30 to 5 or 6 p.m., working 8.5 to 9.5 hours a day. I don't take breaks in the workday to shower or eat breakfast and lunch, or do household chores. And a few weeks ago, I got kind of frustrated with her for basically hardly doing anything for her job at all, and that they were overpaying her if she was spending half the day slacking. She got frustrated with me and said that they hired her for her knowledge and it wasn't my place to say what her time was worth. That if the boss and CEO saw the work she produced and chose to pay her what they chose to pay her, that it wasn't my place to undervalue her because I was being jealous. And that she picked her job instead of one that might pay better because she wanted a good work-life balance. She was sick of wasting her life away at work that was a lot more demanding. I said that she was being a little privileged. Not a lot of people can just choose to make 6 figures and wander off from work for practically half the day, and that all I was saying was that she was working half as hard as a lot of people who earn a lot less. She got mad at me and said that it's not up to me to decide what her time is worth. Am I the a-hole for what I said about my girlfriend's work ethic? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I got frustrated with how my girlfriend is acting really lazy about work and is getting paid a lot regardless, and said that I thought she might not deserve what she's being paid. She got mad and said it wasn't my place to talk about what she deserves in terms of pay. I have to agree with her sentiment there, and I know you're salty about that, and I know you think she doesn't deserve to be paid that much, but she is getting paid that much, and her employers continue to have her there, so it's obvious to them that she deserves that money for what she does. It's obviously worth their time. If you're upset about that, go and find a job like that yourself. Why would you want to tear her down from that if you don't feel like she deserves it? Sure, it's okay to have tiffs like this with your significant other, but why? It kind of seems like you're trying to stop her from having this lifestyle because you're jealous of it. Do you really want to tear her down because she's found a lifestyle and work balance that works for her? It could be an entirely different field, something that you don't understand, and just because she's not doing the work that you feel like she should be doing, you want to go and stop her. That doesn't sound like a great relationship you have with her there. That may just be cherry picking, that's fair enough, but what you're doing right now, it's really unnecessary and uncalled for. I'm gonna go with you're the a-hole. And in the comments, MadPiglet42 says, you're the a-hole. Sounds like you're jealous. Not a good look. If she performs her job duties to the satisfaction of her superiors, and they pay her to do that, then her work ethic has nothing to do with it. It sounds to me like she got lucky as hell and landed the dream job, and you're big mad because you have to bust your ass for less money. That has nothing to do with your girlfriend and her work ethic. Get over it. Aren't they supposed to be on the same team? He should be proud of her, happy for her. Instead, he sees it as a competition. That's really ugly, OP. You're the a-hole. Raw Sugar 87 says, you're the a-hole and you do sound jealous. What is even the point of you mentioning any of this to her? Are you trying to make her feel bad? There's no point. The OP is finally discovering that workplace compensation has no connection to how hard anyone works, or how vital that work is. It's all about how a company chooses to value specific skill sets. And he's taking out his, wait, you mean life isn't fair and there isn't a direct link between compensation and effort? Angst on someone who doesn't deserve it. He's the a-hole. Yep, I'm sure a migrant worker would look at OP's day and 66k salary and think he's a lazy bum who doesn't deserve that much money for sitting at a desk all day. Unfortunately, in this weird world we've created, how much money you make has basically nothing to do with how hard you work. Maybe OP should take some advice from his live-in source of information of strategic job hopping if he's not happy where he is. And Giant Brown Guy says, you're the a-hole. She's using the system to her advantage. Work smarter, not harder. It's also 100% in line with the best career advice I've ever got, which is that you want to get to the point where you're being paid for your knowledge, not your time. It's really helped me conceptualize the work I do and what I'm looking for. It was told to me by a woman who gets flown across the country and put up in fancy hotels to consult and gets paid. I don't even want to know what per day. It's entirely fine if you're in a job where you're being paid to have your butt in a chair and do things for 9 hours a day, but there's another level of career where they don't give an F how much you work because your expertise is so valuable. Posted by user Beneficial Poetry 74, titled, Am I the a-hole for ruining my child's gender reveal? Myself, 27 male, and my wife, 27 female, are having a boy. We already have a girl who is now 2. My wife is really into films, Oscar-type films, and she's like an analyzer when watching them, so she wanted to make a gender reveal short film, 10 minutes long, to say we're having a girl. Kind of weird, but I went along with it. We posted it, and she was super happy with it, but it cost so much. She hired expensive cameras, we drove out to scenic areas for the right shots, I'm working full-time during this process, exhausting. So we just found out that we're having a boy, and she started writing a script. I thought there's no effing way I'm doing that again, so I posted on Facebook, we're having a boy. She's pissed at me, telling me to delete it, but the damage is done. I don't feel bad. I saved us at least £4,000. What I don't get is why she's just making films about gender reveals. She can write a script about anything and not be on a strict 6 to 7 month time limit. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. Because I ruined my wife's gender reveal and she's angry at me about it. The issue here is the lack of communication and people making unilateral decisions on something where it should be both of you guys doing it together. You somewhat set a precedent by agreeing to the first film, therefore it's like you should agree to the second one because you agreed to the first. That logic doesn't completely follow, but that would be where she's coming from because she's so passionate, and she would just assume that you're going to continue, supporting that passion, and that's fair. This may have been an everyone sucks here judgment if not for the £4,000 price tag. The average couple cannot, justify an expense like that for something that is just a gender reveal. Fair enough that you don't want to go ahead with the second one when the first one was already such a toll on your entire life. That's fine. But I think you slipped up a little bit when you didn't come to a consensus with her on how you're going to do the gender reveal. I feel like you're a little bit of a dick for posting on Facebook without discussing it with her first. That shouldn't have been a unilateral decision. But because I myself don't care too much for gender reveals personally, it's a bit of a biased one, I'm just going to go with not the a-hole, because at the end of the day it's really not a big deal to me. Maybe to other people it is, who knows? So yeah, not the a-hole. Be Super Good says, not the a-hole. Maybe not a popular opinion, but £4,000 is ridiculous, and so are gender reveals in general. I'm going to have to side with you on this one. Kids are becoming treated like gods or something. I don't understand the whole thing of having a big party to announce the gender of a baby, especially when the baby may grow up and decide that they're the wrong gender or species. Not the a-hole. I actually think what you did is kind of funny. Good for you. I had 2 babies and made phone calls when I learned their genders. Imagine that! Calling the people who need to know and not making it a red carpet event. What a concept! Helen790 says, everyone sucks here. $4,000 could have gone into a savings account for the kid's future. Instead, she wants to make a video announcing what genitals the baby has. That's ridiculous, but communicating is kinda super important in relationships. Agreed. They should have talked about this and compromised. Instead, Opie did what he wanted and disregarded his wife's feelings. Obviously, the gender reveal is important to her, but £4,000 is a lot. Everyone sucks here. I don't agree with this reasoning, and I don't understand the focus of the reason behind the decision to make the video. My wife is really into films, Oscar-type films, and she's like an analyzer when watching them, so she wanted to make a gender reveal short film. Notice how the wife's interests directly drive the reason she wants to create the video? It sounds like she has a blast writing, directing, and performing these activities, and I don't understand why that would be a bad thing. You shouldn't dismiss someone's interests just because you disagree with the subject. The wife has an interest and passion for creating and performing, and she found an opportunity surrounding an exciting event in her life. Furthermore, she creates a long-lasting, meaningful piece of performative art that she gets to reflect fondly upon and create memories with. If the husband has an issue with the time requirement or the cost, he can bring those up with his wife and they can compromise. His approach robbed her of the opportunity to do something she was excited of, and it is absolutely an a-hole move. Firm, you're the a-hole. It's at the very least everyone sucks here. If he's an a-hole for not telling her he doesn't want to spend the time and money on a gender reveal film, she's just as much of an a-hole for deciding on such an expense without discussing it with him first. $4K is something you spend on a family vacation, not a hobby project. Both of them need to communicate better. I've seen this posted several times, but where exactly does it say that she failed to communicate? During her first pregnancy, she expressed interest and that husband went along with it, which I assume means agreement. During her second pregnancy, she began to plan with the existing precedent, being that all parties were in agreement. Nothing she did was permanent, cost any money, or involved the husband's time at this point. Which means if the husband disagrees with the precedent and doesn't wish to repeat an activity they previously engaged in, he should bring it up. If she had already spent money or his time, then I might have agreed, but we're firmly in no-cost territory as far as I can tell. I also think people are focusing a lot on the money and projecting their own financial status onto their judgment. If my partner wanted to do a 4K gender reveal, passionate hobby or not, I would be seriously questioning their mental state. That would be absurd for us. But if we had the money, it's a whole different conversation. OP mentions he thinks that gender reveals does not hold 4K value, but not what 4K is worth to them. Yeah, I think, personally, given this new information and perspective from people, I think I can change mine to between everyone sucks here and you're the a-hole for that. Obviously, I'd need to know more about what 4K means to them, and maybe a little bit more information about their life to make a better judgment. That initial not the a-hole was just from a surface level, my initial thoughts on it, but going deeper into it, it does seem in a territory between everyone sucks here and you're the a-hole. Posted by user, Am I the A-hole Skin? Titled, Am I the a-hole for hiding my girlfriend's skincare? Basically, I hid my girlfriend's skincare collection. I was planning on throwing it all away until she freaked out about it. My girlfriend has had a sort of obsessive hobby with buying skincare since before me, and it's only gotten worse since we started dating. Dating about 4 years, we're both 23 now. She picks up extra shifts on the weekend just to afford the newest, most interesting products. At first I was supportive of her hobby, whatever makes her happy I guess, but lately I've been struggling to understand why she buys these things. We have separate bathrooms, and in every single drawer is another toner, cleanser, or exfoliant. She's in school to become a dermatologist, but seriously, I don't know anyone in school with this much of a collection. I've tried for months to tell her this isn't healthy, and she needs help. But she tells me because she pays the bills in our apartment, and for my food and other hobbies, she's allowed to do whatever she wants with her extra money. But to me, it's completely wasteful. She's already gorgeous with incredibly lovely, pillow-soft skin with not a single scar. She literally has the best skin everywhere on her body. It's like she's been effing airbrushed. This doesn't matter to her though, as she's always having packages show up and new additions to her collection. Here's where I think I messed up. My girlfriend spends about 12 hours in a double shift at work, and after she left, I decided to load all of her skincare in multiple black trash bags and just put them in my truck. I wasn't going to go crazy and just throw them away. I know this stuff is worth $3,000 to $4,000. Some of this crap is literally in effing boxes. I just wanted to try to show her she didn't need any of it. When she came home at around 12 AM exhausted and just wanted to wash her face, she has to. All of her products were missing, obviously. She immediately came to me in almost hysterics about how everything is gone and she thinks we were robbed. I told her we weren't and that she doesn't need all of this stuff because she's beautiful already. I told her I took it away. Didn't say where because she doesn't need all this garbage. Within seconds, her mood changed and she wouldn't even look at me. She took her blankets to the couch and slept there, crying. She was being so dramatic, I decided to just get the stuff from my truck. I brought the bags in and dumped them on the floor, and she started sobbing. She said some of them were gifts from her father that passed away, and she thought she would never get to see them again. He apparently wasn't good at gift giving, but he knew this passion of hers. Yeah. Am I the a-hole? I literally gave her the stuff back, and I don't believe her dad would have just suddenly give her gifts. As she's said in the past, he struggles with buying gifts. I really don't want to lose her, I want to marry her. She's the most beautiful woman and kind soul I've ever met. If she's the most beautiful woman and kind soul you've ever met, then you should never be able to justify doing this to her. Apart from the fact that it's worth $3,000 to $4,000, if you knew her better, you would have known that her dad gifted her this stuff. You would have asked more about it. You would have been, in the know with this. I don't know how your brain justified this being a good test to her, to show her that she doesn't need it. It's literally her biggest hobby, and it's her occupation. How much more reason do you need to have as much product as you want? It's not hurting you, and it's not hurting her. You've just got this stupid idea in your head that it's a bad thing. Beauty product bad. Get rid of it. Genuinely, given your actions in this and how you didn't actually comfort her after you brought it back inside, you don't deserve to be with this woman, I'm sorry. You don't deserve it. She doesn't need you in her life. No normal, rational person could ever justify doing this to someone. You're the a-hole. Edit. A lot of people have been calling me a troll because my girlfriend's family has unusual beliefs about how men should stay at home. I don't know how to explain that's how she was raised. Also, the fact I didn't know what a studio apartment was. Geez. Sorry, not knowing what apartment styles are is worthy of all you effing ridiculing my life as a joke and a troll. F off. Edit 2. I've seen a lot of comments claiming my girlfriend has a lot of money, so why does she have to work? Newsflash, a-holes. Not everyone spends the money they have. Plus, she isn't in medical school full-time. She's doing studies, she does apprenticeships, but isn't in a full-blown John Hopkins. Edit 3. We broke up and she's blocked me on everything. Mad Piglet 42 says, "You're the a-hole, and what the hell is wrong with you? How on earth did you think that this was anything like a good idea? It's her stuff. You have separate bathrooms, so it's not like it's encroaching on your space. Leave her stuff alone, man. This is a hobby that doesn't really affect you in any way. So why on earth do you care what she does with her skin and her money? I hope she uses this little episode as motivation to dump you and find an actual man who will respect her and her things. Not only all that you said, she pays for all the bills, buys all the food, and supports his hobbies. Kick him to the curb." He contributes nothing financially, and I have my doubts about him contributing anything emotionally positive. Lance123 says, "You're the a-hole. Let me get this straight. You decided that her collection, from which she derives pleasure and which isn't hurting anyone, a collection that also applies to the field in which she's training no less, was unnecessary, and decided in your infinite wisdom to get rid of. This woman not only paid for this harmless collection herself, but also, by your own admission, pays for everything in your house and your hobbies. How in the HE double hockey sticks could you possibly think this was a good idea? It sounds like you need to grow up. If I were her, I'd be keeping the skincare products and seriously consider throwing you out instead. Then she gets another bathroom for her stuff and can find a partner who respects her and her things." Posted by user Beef with the Gay Lasers. Titled, "Am I the a-hole for not joining in on my town's search party for a missing 18-year-old girl, even though it got me a school suspension? I used to be very close friends with this girl. We're more of acquaintances now, but we still stay in touch sometimes. Her mum reported her as a missing person all over town and on the town's community pages of Facebook. The police post included that she's not been seen since she left voluntarily from her mother's residence. I texted her, asking if she's seen the news, and apparently she hasn't. I told her about how she's been reported as a missing person, and that everyone is looking for you. She said that she cut contact with her mum and has her own apartment now, and that she made it clear to her mum that she was leaving. I told her that we should let the police know that you're safe so they can call off the search. The next day or so, after getting that information from my friend, we went to the police station to call off the search party since it was a mistake that she was missing. She explained to them about how she moved away from her mum, so she was never actually missing. Later that day, I saw some update posts from the police on Facebook and some other posts that she was discovered to be safe, and that there was some confusion about whether she was actually missing or not. Well, people in the comments got upset that she wasn't brought back home to her mum, so now they're all doing their own individual search party to look for this 18-year-old girl. I told everyone in the comments that I know her and that she made it clear to her mum that she was moving out and that I saw her at her apartment the other day perfectly fine. Then I got a bunch of comments coming back at me saying I should be ashamed of myself and that a child her age is not capable of being out on her own and that I should give them her apartment address. What are they going to do? Break down her door? Even at school, staff have been saying things to me here and there about how I should knock some sense into my friend. My friend and I are still in high school. I think it's weird they're all talking to me behind her back as if she doesn't know what she's doing. And then another thing is that her mum posted a comment under the police report saying, just to give some advice to parents out there, please, please, please keep some sort of tracking device on your kids' phones that will track them even if the phone is turned off. I wish to God I would have done that one on my kid, even though her daughter left willingly. I told everyone that, but I got more replies of, you don't know if she really did. Someone could have influenced her to leave her mum. It gets worse. I got an in-school suspension. A suspension that lasts 2 to 3 days, but I stay in a reflection room all day long because I was helping and encouraging a runaway. How does that even relate to what I do in school? Her being away from home doesn't have anything to do with me, other than that I'm friends with her and know about her situation and respect her decisions. I'm still not going to give up because I believe that I'm not in the wrong here, but now everyone is against me. They're not being helpful either because the school principals keep pulling her out of class to talk to her. And edits because a lot of people asked, I live in the US. Kinda seems like you're just being bullied by everyone here for something that it's a non-situation. There's no situation going on here at all. You know where she is. But why is everyone agreeing with putting tracking devices on her phones and having to know where she lives so they can go berate her and put her back in a home that she doesn't want to live in, that she's willingly walked out of and said, Mom, I'm going, I'm 18 now, bye. What backwards head-ass logic are you using here as a collective? This is just where group and mob mentality comes in on Facebook especially, where everyone just finds one opinion that's popular and they're all just like, yeah, let's all just dogpile on this one, that's cool. Yeah, let's get her address, let's show up at her house and bully her and say, hey, you shouldn't be living here by yourself, you need to be in the guardianship of your own mum. That's hip, that's cool, that's a normal thing to do, right? Yeah, I totally wouldn't be scared if I was this 18-year-old who people are openly trying to find my address so they can pressure me. That's normal. OP is doing a good job of protecting the friends. They're tanking this in-school suspension, which I don't think they should be doing. They should be, protesting that. They should not be doing it. They have no grounds to be doing this to OP. I just think this is a ridiculous situation all round. Not the a-hole, of course. Bluebell435 says, not the a-hole. You should challenge the suspension with your school and the school board. You can call lawyers to ask for advice. You may find one willing to give a free consultation. Your friend is an adult, and unless there are laws where you live that give guardianship of 18-year-olds who are still in high school to their parents, no one has any business telling your friends where to live. I'm wondering where the OP's parents are in this because this school is overstepping its bounds. The OP's friend is an adult. Her friend's mum sounds controlling. OP and the friend went to the police and the police stepped back. OP's parents need to fight the school on this because OP did nothing wrong. Honestly, this sounds like Jehovah's Witness or Mormons. Of course the school would be involved. That's a massive overstep. My mother is as mainstream as they come, and she pulled a similar stunt when I left home at 18 because she was an abusive hag. My assumption is based on how the community and the school are acting in conjunction with this. Exactly what I thought. Sounds like it's either a super small town or religion is involved. Tenebris Alta says, definitely not the a-hole. I don't understand how everyone is somehow blaming you. You literally helped more than anyone else in this story. You located the girl, made sure she was safe, realized that she hadn't been missing, then you both informed the police so they could let everyone know that the girl wasn't missing after all and is safe. To me, it sounds like the girl's parents are overly controlling and have convinced their friends and the school staff of a different story. One where you're helping hide a runaway. As far as the suspension, I'd contact your school board immediately regarding that, because there's so much wrong with that I barely know where to start. First off, even if their accusations were true that you were encouraging a runaway, which clearly isn't the case, you can't be punished for things that both happened outside of the school property and doesn't have any effect on the school. Second, you can't be suspended for the actions of another student, plain and simple. They can get in legal trouble for this. So if they want to get all huffy about that, a quick mention that you'll get a free consultation with a lawyer and run it by them should shut the school staff up. And third, since they gave you a suspension for encouraging a runaway, that's going to be permanently noted on your record. That right there is both slander and defamation of character. Both illegal and can have some serious consequences for the school and the staff that put that on record. Basically, not only are you not the a-hole, but you also have a fairly solid case for legal action to be taken against the school and the staff that are, as far as the law would see it, harassing you. I will say I'm no lawyer, but I do have a few family members who are lawyers, so I'm somewhat familiar with how things work. And yeah, I can say for sure a lawyer would love to have this case because it's what they'd call an open and shut case, meaning very easy to win. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys, sorry I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down to the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.